Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. I'm sorry I couldn't get a video up on Wednesday on Facebook, but I don't know what the glitch was with Facebook, but I tried to get my video up and it just wouldn't work. But I did see that other people were having problems as well. So I'm not putting that video up right now. I'm going to do today's video, which is Sunday's video. And I'm going to use the Beauty Abounds stamp set. And I belong to a really great little group on Facebook with Gaynor Boys, her Stamp with Joy Facebook page. And she puts out every week a challenge. And a couple of weeks, you know that I've been able to do the challenge. And I've missed so many weeks. So this week I was determined I was going to have a go. So thank you, Gaynor, for the challenge of using your paper sketch. Now, these aren't the pieces I'm going to use, but I'm just going to show you what the paper sketch looked like. It was a plain card front with a layer. I think it might have had 2 layers, but mine's only going to have 1. And then it had a smaller rectangle piece that went on a little angle like this. And then a scalloped circle with another circle on top. And underneath there, oops, it had a piece of ribbon. So it sort of looked like that. And it's a really pretty little sketch and a really easy one to make cards with. And I'll show you my version. But let me move those out of the way because they were just while I was practicing and looking at shapes. Now, as I said, I'm going to use the Beauty Abounds stamp set, and I've started with a piece of grey granite, and it's just our normal size. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And then I've cut for the inside a plain white piece of card, and that's just 1/4 inch smaller, so it's 4 inches across by 5 1/4 long. And then I've cut the same size card in Blackberry Bliss, and I've run it through the Subtles embossing folder. I'm never quite sure which way up this goes and how you can see it better, but that's going to be my base, my first layer on the base card. Okay, and then for my little white pieces, I've used the layering rectangles, the stitched rectangles, and I used the 4th one in from the largest. So, whoops, I can't get it out now, I've stuck it in so well. So I just cut this out on plain Whisper White. And here's the piece. I'll put these 2 pieces aside because I'm not going to stick anything together yet. And I'm using this little floral flourish from Beauty Abounds. And I'm going to stamp it in grey granite. I like this grey. It's sort of a warm grey. Quite a nice one. I'll just ink it up. And then rather than stamp it straight down, I want it to be at a little bit of an angle. Just because this piece of paper, well, this piece of card is going to be at an angle on the card. And so I want my floral piece to be at a bit of an angle as well. Just like that. It's such a pretty little piece, that. Okay, and then the next thing I need is going to be this little flying butterfly. And I'm going to stamp that in Blackberry Bliss, which was the same colour as the little piece of card that I put through the Subtles folder. I'm going to stamp this one. So here's that one. And I need time for these to dry properly, because I want to colour them. And so I'm going to do all of my stamping first and then come back and do a little bit of colouring. Okay, so there we are. That's the only thing that I'm going to stamp extra on this. And then on a piece of scrap card, let me get my scrap card, it's stuck here. I don't need this one again, so I'm just going to clean that one. But I'm going to get the small little butterfly here. And I've cut out a circle of card which has just flown off the table somewhere and I can't see where it is. Where did that go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I've cut out this with the stitched circles because I wanted the edging just to match the rectangle here so that they looked the same. So you can see I just cut it out of there, and I'm going to stamp both my sentiment and the one little butterfly on here. So while my granite grey is out, I'm using the thanks. And I'll just try and get it lined up, and I'm putting the thanks not quite in the middle. Let's move it up a bit so you can see. Not quite in the middle, but just down a little bit. There. And just clean that up. And I wanted room at the top for the butterfly, which is why I said not to put that quite in the middle. Just needed a little bit of extra space. And then I've got the little butterfly. And I'm going to stamp it above the thanks. And oh, and then it's stuck onto the stamp. And then I'm also going to do another one on scrap because I might use that later. And I'm actually going to do another of the big butterfly on scrap as well. There, that's better. I'm just cleaning those because they have the purple ink on. I find that it's better to clean those ones straight away. Okay, let's pop that over there. Now, these ones I'm just going to leave to dry for a few minutes, and I'm going to go back to this one. And I've got just one of my blends out, and it's actually the light rich raspberry, and I found that that's just the perfect colour for what I want on here. So I'm going to colour in the butterfly, and I'm only putting one layer of colour on. I'm not doing lots of blending or anything, just putting this one layer on. I'm going to just use the other tip for these little ones here. There. And I'm also going to colour these little flowers. And I'm using the same light rich raspberry. You could use whatever colours you wanted. You could make them all different colours. But I just want mine to be sort of the purpley pink colour all the way through. And you can see I'm not colouring particularly carefully. I'm just popping a little bit of colour in. Nothing special. I never know if that one's, I think it's a petal. I never know if it's a petal or a leaf, that one. Oh well, today it's going to be a petal. And for the next few videos, I'm going to be doing fun fold cards. I'm not using any particular stamp set and using it twice in the week like I have been doing. I'm going to just use whichever stamp set works for me on that day, and I'm making just different shaped cards with you. Now what's that piece there, that long piece? Is that a flower piece or? Not sure. Maybe it's like a little trumpet. See, a few of them have got this. I'll just colour it all in. You could go over and colour the leaves as well, but as I say, I don't really need to. Okay, and then with the same colour, I'm just going to go over the butterflies that we made earlier, because now the ink has dried and I know it's not going to smudge. I don't know if I need two, I haven't decided yet. So I'm only going to colour that one in. And I'm going to colour this little one as well. And again, I don't know if I'm going to use it, but I want to have it ready just in case. There. that just to dry a little bit longer. And I'm going to get everything ready to glue in. Let's have this glued on the inside. I think that would actually be quite nice with some stamping inside. So I'm going to get that grey granite back. And let's do that big floral piece so that it runs just down the side, just like it did on the front of the paper. There. I'm not going to colour it in though, I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to do the same on my envelope, but I'll put it at the left hand side this time. I was in Montana last week camping, and I thought that was why I couldn't get the video to load up. I didn't realise it was Facebook at the time. I thought it was the Wi-Fi I had at the campsite. But I took some cards to post, and the lady at the post office was so nice, and she said, "Oh, that's so pretty when the envelopes all match." She said, "We do have a few ladies that bring cards to post, and they seem to have like pictures on the back and things, and it's always hand stamped." So I know somewhere in Montana where I was staying, there must be a whole group of Stampin' Up ladies who don't like sending out naked envelopes. And I wish I'd known that beforehand, but this was the day before I left. But otherwise, if I'd known beforehand, I could have met up with them. That would have been fun. Okay, so let's attach this inside. Okay, now I'm not going to attach the front just until I've got the other pieces all on there. So here's my little butterfly piece. That's going to go over here, but I'm not going to glue it down yet. I'm going to work out where my ribbon's going to be. And I've got the grey granite ribbon that I'm using. And I've already cut myself a little piece. And I know it has to go on the top of this little white piece. And then I used my scalloped circle and I cut out a grey granite circle. And then I used the one that I showed you. Oh, I've forgotten to colour him in. Let me just colour him in. The little stitched circle that I showed you. Okay, so this will go on here. Okay, I am going to attach that to the grey granite circle or scallop. It's not a scallop. What is this one? Starburst. That's what this one's called. A starburst punch. Okay. Let me just measure that up again. Make sure I've got it in the right place. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to attach this piece. And then we're going to have the ribbon over the top of it. Oh no, look, I've moved it and now I've forgotten where it needs to be. That looks about right. Just attach that. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue at the back. And that's where my ribbon will stick onto. I think this would make a really pretty wedding card if you did it in silver and then the colours that the bride was having. I think that would look really nice. Okay, now I'm going to attach this to the front of the card. I'm going to put just a little piece of tear tape over because I find when I've got ribbon on, sometimes it's difficult to get that bit to stick down onto the front of a card. So I'm just putting a little bit over the ribbon and then I know that piece will stick over. Oops. Let's put this on here. this piece is going to go on here with a couple of dimensionals. Let's see where I'm hiding those. Here they are. I'm going to put one above the ribbon and one below. And that way I know it's not catching on the ribbon at all. Okay, now you remember those other little butterflies that I made? Now I'm going to use those. I'll get my snips. And I'm just going to cut round this little butterfly. There isn't a little framelit or anything for this, but it's a simple little one to cut out. And then when you get round to where his head off, where his little head's there, I'm really sorry, but you're going to have to chop it off. I don't normally go around chopping butterflies' heads off, but there we go. If when you've cut it you think, oh, I can see a little piece of white still, and you don't want to be cutting anymore, just get your marker pen again, your blender pen. Just go over the edges. That will cover up any little white bits that can be seen, and it will also cover up this little edge round here, so that when you put that onto the card you can't see the white. And I'm just going to bend it a little bit with my hands, and it's going to go over here so that it just sticks up from the card. And I'm only going to put one little glue dot on there. I'm not going to stick it right down. I'm not going to put a little dimensional or anything on it. I'm just going to put that one little glue dot, and I'm making it so that you can still see his head and his little antennae. I find that this is a better way to do this kind of a thing, like almost like decoupage, but it means you don't have to try and cut out that fiddly little piece there. Okay, and you remember I made a second one as well, just in case. Well, I am going to use it, and I'm going to stick it on here. So again, I'm just going to cut his little head off. Oopsie. I've been watching on Facebook today, and lots of my friends and demonstrators and the Greek Isles trip. I don't know if you've seen any of the pictures that they're posting. Most of them are in Rome this week. They're having a European vacation, and then they will start to go to the Greek islands to meet their boat, and they'll have a wonderful trip with Stampin' Up. And they'll get to see the new holiday catalogue, and they do lots of make and takes, and I'm so jealous. Well, I wish them all a wonderful time, but I really wish I was there too. Okay, now I can see some little white bits on there, so I'm going to do that same thing. I'm just going to go over, make sure all the white bits are covered over. There. And then this one will just need a little, it won't need a whole glue dot, so I'm just going to roll it up a little bit. Oops. Stick it on the back. That way we can't see it. It would be nice if you went over these with a little bit of Wink of Stella as well. Now just give them a little shine. There we go. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some little embellishments on, and I've got the rhinestones that I'm going to put on, or I've got these little silver ones, but I think I'll just do rhinestones today. And I'm going to put them on the little flowers. Oh, this one doesn't want to come off, so there's scissors. Most of my stamping things are still packed. I haven't unpacked everything yet from being away, so I haven't got everything to hand today. And I made this so that you could just see 5 of the 6 flowers, because I only wanted to put 5 little rhinestones on. If they'll ever come off. Oops. Turn the scissors round. There. So there we are. That's my sketch for Gaynor's group for this week. I think we're up to week 27 and this is only about my 3rd sketch that I've done. But I've tried, great Gaynor. I've really tried. Okay, so there we are. I hope you like that and I hope you'll give it a go. And sometimes when you don't quite know what to make and you're not sure, you've got all your beautiful things ready and you just don't know what card you're going to come up with, choose a paper sketch, because it already gives you all of the basics that you need, and it means that you don't have to create the look of a card and do all the stamping and everything. You only have to concentrate on using the beautiful stamps and inks. So there we are. That's my card for this week, and I'll see you all again next week. And as I said earlier, we'll be doing fun folds and things for the week. So thank you very much for watching me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.